folks, welcome back to the Keep Going podcast with Vin Kennedy. I'm your host, Vin Kennedy. Today's episode, I'm kind of going to run through my morning routine and the things that keep me grounded and keep me going. So first, obviously, wake up. And from there, I kind of read these mantras in my head that, of course, there's this whole spiritual connotation on reading affirmations and mantras, and I've never really thought into it prior to doing it. I kind of just started saying these things to myself and then realized later on that what the deeper meaning was. One thing I always say and start my day with is I have absolutely zero limits. And I say that 3 times, and it's true because the only place we limit ourselves is in our minds. A quick little story that actually hits on this is, I think I already spoke about it, is when I ran my first marathon, I kept saying to myself, I don't stop. And that repetition forced me to not stop. And it's those little things that kind of set the tone for the day. So when you wake up and you're telling yourself, I have zero limits, that's setting the tone for the day. Because you could wake up and think about whatever happened the night before or all the bad things that happened the day before, which a lot of us kind of live in that constant loop and never-ending like struggle bus of I have this going on and kind of living in your head with the negative. So I kind of, once I wake up, I try and switch that, and first thing I say to myself is I have absolutely zero limits. The next thing I do, which the song has changed, but I start playing music. I grab my AirPods, throw my headphones in, and start playing music. For a while there, it was Good as Hell by Lizzo. I know how ridiculous that sounds, but it really does just set the tone for the day. I think it was a solid 6 months of that song every day, every morning, and just really start your day off on the right foot. I mean, who doesn't like Lizzo? A key thing to touch on with this is that I try not to get on social media at all. I do touch my phone, again, to throw on the music. But as far as getting on social media and checking emails or text messages, that stuff I kind of at least give myself a half hour to an hour in the morning of just no phone. And it's kind of like just time to like set the tone for the day and be in the right headspace to take on the day. I feel like in the past when the first thing I would do is grab my phone and you check your text and it's like, you know, just someone you're possibly arguing with from the day before or something lingering with work, or if you have a family situation going on, it's you grab your phone, you see that, and you're right back in that loop. You're right back in the emotions of yesterday instead of setting a completely different tone of emotions for the new day. Next, I typically will grab my phone and I read a book called The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. And he had a list of, I believe it's 26 successful traits, and I run through those traits. Again, it's just motivating traits that kind of help you just stay positive and stay in that right mindset to get towards the day and get towards your goals. At the bottom of that list, I have a gratitude list that's probably been going since 2020. I write 3 things every day, and it's been continuous for almost 2 years now. And it's simple things. In the beginning, I was kind of trying to make them very detailed. Now they're kind of very broad, but like I think of a deeper meaning in my head when I write them down. And that's another thing, like just to be grateful for the things that you already have attracts more, and you're just in a place of abundance and you allow more to flow to you. That's just personally how I feel about it. Sometimes it's as simple as like having, you know, food to eat, having a shelter, just a warm bed, just small things that you could be grateful for. It could be a person, it could be family, it could be friends. Those little things just kind of keep you right. And then when you are having a tough day and things are maybe not going your way, you can kind of reach back to the little things that do help you get through those days and help you change your mindset. From there, I typically I have a journal. I think the one I'm currently using is called I believe it's the Best Journal. The one prior to is the 5-minute journal. I like these quick, short journals. You put the date, I like this one because you track your sleep. You actually say how many hours you slept for, what time you went to bed, what time you woke up. You write out an affirmation. So, you know, I'm successful or I'm healthy, I'm fit, something that you want to kind of hold on to that day for. It also has a short quote in there. A lot of great inspirational quotes are in there. And again, just a great way to start your morning. So grab that journal. I don't journal in the morning, I journal at night, but I write out an affirmation. And then on the journal as well, you also do 3 things you're grateful for. So every morning I'm writing down 6 things I'm grateful for. And again, I think especially when times are tough, to go back to gratitude, you kind of put everything in alignment, and you put the important things to the forefront of your mind, and you don't fixate on the bad. Next, we get to the dream board. Now I know this sounds a little spiritual, and some of the stuff I was a little reluctant to start in the beginning, but the more I leaned into it, it goes back to what I've said a couple episodes here, is just believing in Santa Claus. I rather have something to keep the faith, hold on to, and believe in. It's just, for me, a better quality of life. It keeps me happier, keeps me more joyful and grateful. So I run through a dream board. I have so many different things on there. One of them is like a second home. One of them, it's a picture of a happy family. I don't know whose family it is. It is a little weird, but is what it is. And some of the things are materialistic. I don't think it's a bad thing to have materialistic goals. I just don't think they should be valued in the most important things to someone personally, and that's just my take. One thing I have on there is a Corvette Stingray. Don't know why, just really fascinated with them right now. And yeah, it's just a bunch of things that help me stay grateful and that I'm looking towards as goals to obtain. Even from there, I have a couple of sayings on there, a couple quotes. And again, those kind of things, all of this kind of just gets me off on the right foot. Next from there, I will read 10 pages a day. I've been doing a majority of this for probably close to a year, on and off for 2 years. Right now, I'm currently reading Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. This book is all about consistency. It's all about choices, and the little choices matter. And they all kind of build up as a wave and propel you into things. And while you're making the small choices, you don't realize the incremental compound effect that they're having on your overall life. So, you make daily choices in the right direction, and you look back and you see massive growth. It doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen day to day, but over time, it all compounds and creates change. It creates that positive change for the better. Of course, every choice you make is not always going to be the right choice, but it's consistently making the right choice more than the wrong choice, and those things kind of adding up, and that creating the positive change. And it's kind of what all this is about, and what I primarily try to be about is consistency. In the gym, I've learned it firsthand, that the more consistent you are with your workouts, with your nutrition, that's when the change comes. Everybody wants the quick gratification and instant gratification of overnight success or overnight change, and it's just not realistic. Many things that you get quick and in short term aren't worth it. This book really speaks volumes about that specific topic, and how all of these consistent little changes just add up, and they're referred to as the slight edge. Again, these choices and these changes don't have to specifically be, eating the right food or reading the right book or saying the right thing at work or something with business. It could be staying true to your own moral compass. And this is something that I really pride myself on, is just having my own values, having my own integrity, and sticking to the things that I say I'm going to do and the person I want to be. In the beginning of this I guess massive switch in me personally in 2020, I kind of felt like, who am I being? Who am I becoming? And you could kind of feel like a fraud in a sense. But if you don't start making changes to be that person and consistently let those things develop and build up until you are that person, and then you just keep making strides to be better and better, that's the only way you could do it. So of course you're going to have some of that sense of, oh, that's not me in the beginning, because you're changing. And a lot of it's the deep self-work, and it's kind of the stuff that I shied away from forever, but it's where the growth is, and it's where you could actually become joyful and happy with yourself and with who you see in the mirror. And at the end of the day, that's something that I needed, and something that kind of pushes all of this and just makes my quality of life now better. I could look myself in the mirror and say, that I am proud of who I am, and I do love myself. And I have been in a place where that wasn't reality. So for now, being able to stand there, again, in my hypothetical morning routine here, we're not out of bed yet, but when I do stand in front of the mirror and I see who I am, I'm proud of myself, and I'm happy. And I know I'm helping other people and making other people happy, and proud of myself and themselves as well. And that's the goal. But a lot of this goes back to like self-reflection and self-work, and that's the deep work that a lot of people need to do and shy away from, and I did forever. It's sitting with yourself. It's having conversations with yourself and really taking inventory of your thoughts, which kind of goes directly into next what I wanted to talk about, was controlling your inputs. So I referred to this in the first episode where, COVID happened, not a lot of friends around, not a lot to do, so you kind of can control a lot of your own environment. And that's something that I took and ran with, and I still do it, and I do it every morning. And it's just controlling your inputs. Of course, things could be going on in your life that are negative, that are tough, that you need to deal with. But to wake up and start your day just lingering about bullshit basically can ruin your whole day, ruin a week. And it's not how I like to start my day. And these small routines kind of let me propel myself into a better mood and to be more joyful throughout the day and be kinder. Some people struggle in the morning. My little sister struggled in the morning forever. She's finally a morning person. But, you wake up and you can't even say hi to her. And it's no longer the reality. But I've always prided myself on, I say good morning to everybody. And, I'm a happy person in the morning. I'm excited to be up. Some people are going through a lot of things and they can't wait to go back to bed. And that's not the way I live my life. So next, I do a short meditation clip. So this varies 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I kind of got away from doing the longer ones only because obviously this whole routine does take up some time. But definitely do some meditation and just some form of breathing and sitting with my own thoughts and taking inventory and kind of just being. I spoke to a lot of people about meditation. A lot of people don't know how to start. And I think, in my opinion, everybody meditates differently. And a lot of people say that they have issues slowing down and getting out of their head and kind of just not getting caught up in thoughts. And I think that's what meditation is to me. It's just sitting there and taking inventory, but not attaching yourself to any of those thoughts and kind of letting them just take over. You kind of just let them pass. And I like to incorporate some breathing with it. It just helps me out and kind of gets me off on the right foot. I used to do a morning routine which included like push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, and I've kind of got away from that because I go to the gym after anyway, so it's why am I going to work out like twice? So now I get out of bed and I head over to a table that I have a list of goals and a list of affirmations written out. Again, the affirmations were something that I was kind of a little reluctant to do at first, only because it's kind of got that connotation of like spiritual and I don't know, its own vibe to it. But I personally enjoy it now, and I kind of lean into that stuff. So the affirmations have all different types of things on it. It's a full, pretty extensive list. Some are goals that I want to achieve that I'm already talking about possessing them. Some are attributes, and some are materialistic things as well. And it's kind of just that repetition of having that in your mind throughout the day. And you might not think of it in the conscious, but in your subconscious, that stuff sits there. And you can attract these things without realizing it by the choices you make throughout the day. But it's been a steady repetition of, again, probably close to a year of me reading those out. And it's every single day. And it's just that constant repetition of just these positive things that I say to myself and that I speak into my reality. From there, I throw on a quick motivational video. This is something I've been doing for like 2 years now. It could be anybody. It could be Eric Thomas. It could be Inky Johnson. Just anything that pops up. To start the day with that in your head. All of these things compound and just get you kind of hyped up and ready for the day. I personally weigh myself every morning, brush my teeth, and kind of get my day going. From there, I'll then grab my phone and I'll post. I generally do a quote and then a video on my personal Instagram story every day. I go over to Facebook and I wish everybody a happy birthday. And that's something that I started when I was still a police officer, and I just, why not? I mean, I think it's a nice thing to do. It's a nice gesture. It takes no time. And I just wish everybody a happy birthday. Hope they have a great day. And that's it. And you might even spark up a conversation with someone that you haven't spoke to in God knows how long. And it's just cool. It's a cool little way to stay in touch with people, or just show people that you're thinking of them when they might not even realize it. And it's a cool way to keep a little community and connect. When I post the posts on Instagram or anything I really post, as far as quotes or videos, I post those things mainly for me, just because it might be something I need to hear. Like quotes about like slowing down, or staying focused, or implementing discipline. It's the little things that I need to hear, so I just outwardly express them. It's another thing I kind of do with my goals, is where running a marathon in October, and if you follow me on anything, I'm sure you've seen it a million times, and it's just one of those things, that constant repetition of like holding myself accountable to that. So I do the same thing with how I post on social media. It's these subtle reminders to just kind of stay the course. Lastly, something I've recently implemented, probably a couple months ago now, was a Sunday reflection. So obviously you could do all this work, and I journal at night, which is a form of reflection on the day and on my choices and on the path that I'm headed on. But something I do is every Sunday I'll write down 3 goals for the week, and then I'll touch back on them on Sunday, and I actually have like check boxes on them in notes on my iPhone, and I can check off if I actually did them or not. And if I didn't, I add it to the list again for the next week, and I make sure I hit it. And then I add 2 more things. Or if I did all of them, I add 3 things. And it's just a little way to hold yourself accountable. Of course, I journal at the end of the night anyway, and kind of run through my day and where I'm at. But it's just an added incentive to hold myself accountable. And that's my morning routine. I appreciate the support on the Instagram, on the podcast, on the YouTube. If you like the content that I'm putting out, please subscribe, like, and share it with people. And thank you.